Hey, Cameron. That's great. How did you do that green screen background? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Cameron? Oh, okay, sorry. For those of you that are on, welcome. Thanks for being early. I'm going to share my screen. Good morning, Cameron.
Are we ready to go here?
We are live, yeah.
Everybody likes my background.
I think it's great. I'm jealous. Well, I have one too, but you're gonna have to show me how to do that. And everyone else on this webinar, they're gonna want to know. So for those of you that are on, please take note of the toolbar on the bottom of the screen. There is a chat box. There's also a Q&A folder. We'd like you to ask your questions today in the Q&A folder, but if you could verify that you can hear me and see my screen okay, that would be most helpful. Thanks, everyone. Hi, Heidi and Kristen in Wisconsin, Lindsay in Indiana, my people. Thanks for being here. We have about 7 minutes to go. So feel free to grab some coffee, get some breakfast, put your feet up. Actually, it's already noon in the Central Time, 9 o'clock in Eastern. What am I saying? Grab lunch. If any of you are experiencing technical issues trying to get on this webinar, please contact events@remaxintegra.com. We have someone kind of standing by knowing that this is happening, or log back out and log back in. Sometimes that works. A lot of times it works, actually. Let us know where you're all tuning in from today. We should have New England and Midwest pretty well represented. We have Sandy from Maine. That's great. Thank you. Berlin, New Hampshire. All right. Welcome, Maureen and Joe.
Good morning.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. Glad to have you guys here. Actually, it's still morning here in the Central Time Zone, but I guess it's not where you are. For Joe, too. Columbus, Indiana. I had everyone's given a shout out where they're from. Maine, Massachusetts. There's your people, Maureen.
There they are. Hey, everybody.
My virtual people. Waukesha, Wisconsin, Milwaukee. This is awesome. We appreciate everyone being here today. We're excited. It's a big week for us here at Remax Integra. Rebecca from Maine. Oh, I could go for some lobster right now in Maine.
I'll be back there shortly, people.
Connecticut in the house. Yes. Hi, Francine and Diane. They're all so competitive. I think that's what it is. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hey, Carol. 5 minutes to go, everyone. So if you need to grab something really quick, coffee, food, I know where everyone's stress eating, chocolate. That's always my go-to. Hi, Darlene from Massachusetts and Debbie from New Hampshire. This is great. And my fellow panelists, I more than invite you to be on video as well. We got Jeff from Fishers, Indiana. Hey, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for all this excitement. There's Maureen. Cameron,
we're all bunkered down here, but we're available.
Yes, Cameron has the cool green screen going. I want to do that.
No, this is actually what's behind me, but I can do the green screen.
Well, yeah, I want to know. You need to give us a little training on that.
While we're waiting, so trivia, whose office is this that I'm in now? Anybody
Hey,
else
Joe.
see it?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Michael Scott from the office.
Hi, Erica.
Hey
Here
guys.
she is.
This is awesome. Welcome. You didn't see what Cameron was doing earlier, Erica. He was green screening it. It was great.
I saw him in the Simpsons living room earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be on a beach right now. Could you help me out with that?
Well, I know airline tickets to
I will show you
Florida
her
are real
office.
cheap.
Oh, I'm sure. I could probably go for like $100 round trip right now.
You want to know the truth? I booked us something for a quick week in September, $57 each, round trip, nonstop.
Oh, man.
So I'm figuring we'll be good in September, but you know, to be determined.
Fingers crossed for you. So that maybe that's what I should do. Defer vacation time until then. All right, everyone. We are 3 minutes away. Excited to have you here. Thanks for all the energy and excitement and all good. So, oh, someone typed in Michael Scott. Was that an office reference? They want
It was the trivia was, I put up my background and I asked the trivia question and someone got it, so.
Oh, good. See, I was talking to the other panelists. I didn't even notice what you did. Stacy Gillen's on and Linda from the Louisville, Kentucky area, but technically Indiana. Hi, Linda. Vermont. All right, everyone, just we're almost ready. Let us know how you're all enjoying working from home, or maybe not. We are in a virtual world.
Oh, the dogs love it. All the dogs love it. It's the the dogs are living their best life right now.
Lots of petting. Brenda says she's getting a lot done from home, actually. Well, that's good. Yeah, the dogs love the attention. They're going to get spoiled when you have to go back out. Or, I mean, they're going to get upset when you have to go back out. So those of you that don't know, as staff, we always work from home and travel. I know Joe and Cameron tend to be in the office where they're based, but we're kind of used to it. 1 minute to go. Okay, everyone, good afternoon. Remax Integra US from both New England and the Midwest region. I want to officially welcome you to our webinar today. My name is Michelle Hoyt and I will be leading the presentation, but I have a team of illustrious panelists that I will allow to introduce themselves here in just a moment. I do want to make mention that this is a 1-hour webinar. However, we are prepared to stay on if there's more questions that need to be answered. Take note, please, of the bottom of your screen. There is a toolbar. If you hover over it, there is a Q&A folder. We would like you to ask your questions on there rather than the chat box, because we are able to pull reports from that and even publish some of those questions in the knowledge base in our Max Helps You Center and even send those out if needed. So again, please take note of the Q&A box. You are on a webinar, so you're listen-only mode, and you'll be able to type in all of your questions from there. If you are experiencing technical issues on this webinar, like sound or video or anything like that, please go ahead and log out, log back in, maybe even close your browser, and before you do so, that tends to help. If you have any other issues that you're experiencing, then please reach out to at remaxintegra.com. We have someone that's answering those emails and going to try to assist you in any way that you can or that we can. So again, welcome everyone. I can't thank you all enough for being fluid with us, for going through these changing times and adapting to the virtual world that we kind of already knew existed, but never was video more important than now, never was virtual learning more important than now, and we're all in this together. So in case you didn't see in your inboxes at the end of last week, the hashtag @HomeTogether for Remax was sent out to all of you, to your broker owners. Please post these graphics and use this message on social media. I think that you'll really enjoy it, and just the unity and the power of the Remax network has never been more strong than right now. So I want to officially welcome my panelists. We're going to start with Cameron. If you could please introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Cameron Laird. I'm based in the Toronto area in Canada. I'm the Director of Technology for Remax Integra North America, and here to help out and answer questions as best I can today.
Thanks, Cameron. Erica?
Hi, sorry, I'm already answering questions on the Q&A box. My name is Erica Kappa. I am the Director of Broker and Agent Support for Remax Integra North America. So what that means is I lead the team that provides assistance to all of our brokers and agents in Ontario Atlantic, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Indiana, and all of New England. So as Michelle mentioned, if you can please write your questions or type your questions in the Q&A box, that'll help me to be able to give you answers as quickly as possible. Also, Michelle downloads those questions at the end of the day for me and sends them to me, so that any questions that we miss, I can also type those out, but we'll send those out to everyone so you can refer back to them at a later time. If you have any questions with your computer or with logging in, or if your screen looks different than what Michelle is showing you on the webinar, please reach out to our support team. That's not something I'm going to be able to assist with in the question and answer box right now. So there's a couple of ways you can reach out to our support team. The first is if you go directly to maxhelpsyou.com. That's a website that's completely dedicated to our support team. You can chat with us, you can schedule a phone call, or you can submit a ticket from there. You can also instant chat with us right from Launchpad. And then another way is by selecting the Max Helps You tile in Max Center. So there's a couple of different avenues that you can reach us. We tend to be pretty prompt, so hopefully you will have a wonderful experience with our team. But we look forward to working with you guys. If there's anything we can do to help you, just let our support team know. We'll be happy to help.
Thank you so much, Erica. Appreciate it. Maureen?
Yeah, good morning, everybody, or afternoon, depending where we are. Looking forward to this next week here of the booj rollout. Tomorrow's the big day, and Michelle's going to talk mostly today about what we can expect and show you some of the live examples. We're in phase 2 here of rolling this out in the training department, and I am Michelle's counterpart here in New England, and anything I can do to help you, I'll be in the background here as well, monitoring the questions. And those of you that have my email, it's or that don't have my email, it's mcolvin@remaxintegra.com. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take care of those on the side as well. And like Michelle, we're trying to deliver to you the same material we would have if we were able to be in the classroom with you. And I look forward to being back in those positions in the near future. So miss you all, and we're here for you today.
Thank you. And we have a very special guest today. I'm so excited to have him. We have all the way from Remax LLC in Denver, we have Joe. Joe, please introduce yourself and let everyone know what it's been like training on booj a lot longer than we have.
You got it, Michelle. Thank you for that introduction. So my name is Joseph Keck. I'm a technology engagement consultant. I work out of Denver headquarters when we are allowed to go to the building, which right now we are working from home, like a lot of you are as well. I got the pleasure of training on booj when we rolled out last year, starting in the summer of 2019. It's been an amazing experience. I really appreciate you guys inviting me to be here today, and I'm here to help support Integra any way possible, whether that's helping answer questions or anything else you guys need some additional details on. I am here for you.
Thank you, Joe. And yes, Joe will also be looking at the Q&A box and helping out Erica and Maureen and Cameron. Erica's a really fast typer though. She's hard to beat. I'm telling you, I've tried. But anyway, Joe, I'm so excited you're here. So Joe's going to just he's going to be here. We're going to engage him. We're going to lean into his expertise and his insight as we're about to go through something we've never gone through. And I'm just thrilled to have him here. And we really enjoy working with Joe and the rest of the team there. So just really quick, I want to make mention, this is the first of 5 webinars this week, although not all of them may necessarily apply to you. As far as agent-focused webinars goes, this is one of 3. So today is just a one-time. We're going to just tell you a little bit about what to expect when our leads go live tomorrow. It's a big day we've all been waiting for. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth into some more of the tools, what everything's going to look like. And Cameron's going to give you a little bit of a timeline today too. And then we have specific broker, owner, manager, and team sessions that are coming up this week where we will focus specifically on those tools, lead routing for office team websites, and some of the other features that are available to you, okay? So that's what's going on. Please register at soldsignblog.com/calendar. You can register for those particular webinars that are coming up. So the purpose of today's webinar, like I said, is to kind of set expectations for when our leads go live tomorrow. Now, to be honest, you're not going to see a big explosion of leads or anything when the switch is flipped, but just to let you know, what's going to happen is leads will start going through booj into your CRM and will cease to not go through Lead Street. So we'll talk through that. And just to let you know, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the other key features that a lot of you were asking about in the initial setup webinars where we just didn't really have time to cover. So we'll go through some of these key things. I know it's going to be a great resource for giving us best practices and tips around that. And we'll talk about, I'm going to show you how to integrate DocuSign. That's the only one I have access to today on the paperless system. And then we'll even do some website tips as well. And I know Joe's going to be a big help there too. As we mentioned before, is when it comes to support, we have maxhelpsyou.com. Erica explained that very well. But just to let you know, it is when you need support and have questions, please go directly to them. Unfortunately, my inbox is quite full right now. So if you're waiting for a response from me, I'm sorry. But we are, Maureen and I are doing our very best to service literally thousands of you in each of our regions. So the support team is there to help. Please go directly to them. You can even schedule a call in 30, 45 minutes or 60 minutes with them. So take advantage of those resources. And that's not just booj, by the way, Design Center, all the other Remax tools that are coming out, Photofy, there's articles on there about that. So I'm going to turn it over to Cameron Laird for a moment to talk about what's going to happen tomorrow.
Good morning, everybody. So yeah, so tomorrow there's a bit of a schedule of events, things that are happening in order to get the platform flipped over for us and to make sure that we're getting our leads. There's really kind of 2 main things that are occurring tomorrow. From a functionality standpoint, there's not a whole lot that's going to change from what you see today in preview versus what you see tomorrow when we go live. But there is 2 main pieces. One is that the MLS statuses will flip over to being called, I can't remember what it is. I think it's called broker approved or something like that, where all of us will be able to have our website published. So that's going to happen in waves, starting with New England at 10 o'clock Eastern time, followed by the Midwest or the North Central, Indiana and North Central together at 11 Eastern. And then officially our lead routing will cut over at about 3 p.m. Eastern, possibly a bit earlier. But it depends on the checks and balances that they're doing as they switch things over. There's some development work happening in the background. So we're hoping to see that happen at the very latest by 3 p.m. You'll get notified when that happens because you'll receive a notification by email from the Integra communications team around that time, indicating that everything has switched over and giving you some direction on the things you can do now, like publishing your website and getting that ready to go. We will also be giving you an additional month of access into Lead Street starting on Wednesday through till the end of April. And the idea there is that you can go into Lead Street if you haven't downloaded your CSV files or you want to go back and download them again. Maybe you had some campaigns that you had built over time and you want to copy them and recreate them inside of booj. We're going to give you a month of access in there to do that as well. And even beyond April 30th, the Lead Street access will still be available to you, but it's going to be rebranded as Homes Connect, and you'll have to be able, you'll connect to it outside of your normal channels. but it will still be available to you beyond that. It's not going to be deleted by any means. But as it says on the slide, leads are going to start routing through to booj around mid-afternoon, 3 p.m., and there will be no more leads delivered into Lead Street after that point.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions, Erica, around this particular slide or event before we move on?
No.
Okay, that was easy. All right. Cameron, one more slide.
Yeah, and then just to kind of give you an update on what's coming, now that we've gone live, we're part of a big initiative for the end of March. There's a big release that's coming out tomorrow that has some additional enhancements and some new features that are built into it. But because of the continuous improvement and delivery that the booj team is delivering, there's going to be a whole bunch of new stuff coming in Q2. So to kind of give you a look ahead, you're going to see the calendar function open up on the booj CRM mobile app. There's going to be an office level CRM where the offices will be able to use that for various purposes above and beyond being a selling agent. Then we're going to look at some contact syncing coming toward the end of April from Outlook and Google. Email campaigns coming in bigger, incarnations from drip campaigns, important dates, and templates in there as well. We're going to see some enhancements to remax.com, like searching by MLS number. And then there's some website enhancements as well, like social media blocks, collection templates. You'll get your individual property websites. And then there's a new feature coming about community pages. It's to allow you to add those types of community pages to your website. And then we're going to get an enhancement to a seller report, hopefully by the end of the quarter, that'll allow us to introduce some automation and have that accessible through a listing manager and that kind of stuff. So those are just sort of some forward-looking updates that'll come toward the toward the end of the next quarter. All of this can be, if you follow the tech news channel on Mac Center, you'll see all the latest and greatest news that's coming from booj and all the new things that are being promoted there through that channel. That's a good place to keep up to date on what's going on.
Great, thank you, Cameron. And Joe, just really quick, when your regions went live with leads, what was that like and what can we expect?
Yeah, great question, Michelle. It was a pretty seamless transition for a lot of our core offices from Lead Street over to booj. I will say, maybe after the first few months of once remax.com launches, really when we started seeing a lot of those new booj leads coming in. So for us, we had launched booj CRM before we launched the new remax.com. So a lot of those leads were still going to Lead Street. But once that transition happened, very smooth. And we've had a lot of good feedback with agents saying they haven't received leads from remax.com in a long time, and now they're receiving them with booj. So that was some positive feedback we received.
Well, we were hearing the same thing, so we look forward to that happening here. Thanks.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get right into it. So what we're going to show you is just sort of a preview. We'll have even more tomorrow on tomorrow morning's webinar, but wanted you to actually see what leads look like. So that's the thing that we haven't seen yet. So I was able to work with some of the core regions, with some of the agents there, and they were so kind enough to forward me some of these screenshots. So this particular agent I chose as a PBA, and I submitted an inquiry on his listing. So as you can see, as it came in, he did not have to accept or decline it. He is the PBA. He is also the listing agent by coincidence. But when the text comes in, there is a link that you would click. And you'll see on the next slide, it does take you to the mobile CRM, which is great, the app in itself. So on this particular, it might look a little small, but just wanted you to see all the information that comes over in the email. It's quite a bit versus just a link in the text messaging. So the next thing is when you get that particular text message and you click that link, it may, if you're not already logged into the booj CRM app, it will prompt you to do so. And by the way, that is your Mac Center login. So there's no special password or no secret password. It's all your Mac Center password. And I've noticed a couple of times, maybe Erica can talk about this, but logging in on Mac Center on mobile, and maybe Joe can, sometimes you have to do it a couple times. For some reason, it doesn't take the first time. Have you run into that, Joe?
I've had pretty good success running it on my phone, but typically I have my laptop with me, so I'm not going to say I've done it too often, but I have been able to access from my phone.
Yeah, so there have been some issues around that, but just wanted everyone to know that. But here's what happens when you log in. It does give you a quick little snapshot of what the request is for more information. You can also go into your contacts on the mobile app and just view the client there, view the lead there, and get more details. So just want, again, I'm excited to show you this because we haven't seen any of this yet. And let us know if there's any questions, but that's what leads will look like. So also, when you get a lead, when it's a first-time visitor to remax.com, when you're not the PBA, you're not the assigned agent, it is someone's brand new first time and they submit an inquiry on your listing, this is what it looks like. Notice in the next notification, it gives them the instructions on where to click to accept or decline. So it makes it very clear that there's urgency here. So as there's urgency with your own listing leads, for sure, when in any instance. In this case, you'll see in the email, you are able to accept, don't ever decline. I'm not even gonna say that's an option. So you're gonna accept the lead in either the text message or inside of the email, and you have 1 hour to do so, all right? So that's what it looks like. So I wanted to show you too, I've been doing some testing. I chose this agent as a PBA, and these are some of the activity notifications. I just started favoriting and doing some things on remax.com. I was logged in, and these are the notifications that appeared in this agent's booj account. So just doing simple things like hiding, favoriting, and those type of activities. As you move down the timeline though, and once you're inside of the contact record, and by the way, we are in the user activity section of a contact record, and you have to click the box. Like when you go in the dashboard, you will not see anything there until you click each individual item. So you have to click favorite properties, and as you can see, it does show what I favorited. This is really good intelligence, everyone, so that you can really be prepared for a phone call with this client or a meeting to know exactly what they're looking at, and even the ones that they hide are the ones they're not interested in. So it's kind of process of elimination too, to see this. So the push notifications, Joe or Cameron, when are those going to go live in the booj CRM so they'll actually start getting push notifications?
I believe last I saw was Q2, but I have that doc up, so I will follow up and double check that answer for you.
Okay, thanks. And then
I think that's right. I was looking at it.
Q2, okay. So you will get notifications on the desktop. They're just not happening in the mobile CRM, as you can see, because in the previous screen. So the next thing is the hidden properties. Again, this is when people hide properties, that's because they're running searches and they keep seeing the same properties over and over again, and they don't like them. They don't want them in their search results. So they may hide them for that reason, is usually what you may find. Search history is not there yet, but in viewed properties, there's a lot of you will open up your link there. It says coming soon. So the ability to see what they're just looking at and searching, but saved searches do appear here. So I did save one search, and this gives this agent a good indicator on what it is that I'm actually looking for. So anything new with the search history or the viewed properties, is that Q2 also? Cameron or Joe?
So I was looking for the other answer. So as far as save searches, is that what you're asking about?
For viewed properties and search history is what's not there yet.
Yeah, so that is going to be, looks like Q2 on that one as well. I do know save searches. You will be able to see your client save searches in this section. However, the ability for the agent to set up the save search, that I believe is coming Q3. So once an agent sees, hey, this is what my client set up as a save search, you then have the opportunity to then create save searches for your clients as well.
Well, that's great, because we had that in Lead Street, and I know we really enjoyed that. So great. Thank you so much. And again, by the way, this is found under the user activity. When you are the PBA, you basically have the highest hierarchy to see what they're doing in the system, and you can enjoy that. So, all right, let's go live. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of walk you through some of the things that are happening. And I'm going to show you some things like integration and all of that you didn't get to see before and we're asking about. So once again, you have to go into MaxSender to get into booj, and you go to the apps, or it will appear on your home screen. Hopefully you favorited it by now. So we're going to actually go in here, and it's going to take us right into the CRM. So we're going to kind of, like I said, talk through some of the features that are available here. We want to make sure we leave time for questions and answers. But we're going to start with, I'm going to show you how to integrate DocuSign. That's, like I said, that's the only one I have access to at this time, and what that's going to look like once it's done. So we are inside of the booj CRM dashboard, and we get this question a lot. How do you get to this, right? So in the top right corner, we're going to click here and we're going to click on where it says settings. So settings will take you to this view. The next thing is we're going to go to settings pages. Then we're going to click on where it says system. So on the system, you now want to click where it says integrations. So this is actually now going to give me a choice. Now this is where you can set up lead parsers, where you can have leads come directly into your booj account from these 3 particular platforms showing here. Also for deals. Now this is where, so you can actually have a nice sync between your paperless system and the deals that you're setting up in booj. So I'm going to show you how to connect DocuSign. So what you want to do is click here, and it's obviously going to ask you to log in to your account. And it's going to walk us through the process. And I'm going to type this in. Hold on just a minute. And it's going to ask me to log in. Look what it asked me to do now. It's going to ask if I'm going to give it permission to request to have access to my DocuSign. So what is IK, by the way, Joe? What does that stand for? booj IK.
Sorry, trying to unmute here. So we are on the DocuSign screen. Where does it say IK?
I was just going to ask you right there because I was playing with this earlier. Hold on, I just accidentally logged myself out. So right here it says booj IK promo is requesting permission to.
I've actually not seen that before. I think the application you're connecting to is not provided by DocuSign. By clicking accept, you are able. So I think this is just the terms and conditions between the two.
Yeah.
So you'd want to accept that either way. Yeah.
Okay. Just we're learning as we go here on this terminology.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to click accept, and it's now going to integrate my account with DocuSign. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a deal, and you're going to see a whole new section that you may have not seen before. Now, .loop and zip forms I don't have access to, so I can't show you what that looks like. But I'm going to go up here to the top, and remember this plus button at the top will always be an opportunity to add something. The only thing you can't add here is you can't import a list for contacts. You have to go into the contacts tab itself, but you can add an individual contact. Well, we're going to add a deal. So when we add a deal, notice this wasn't here before on my account, but I have the ability now to sync with Transaction Room in DocuSign. So by doing so, I can set up a deal. We'll just say this is a buy-side deal, 345 Main Street. This is a buy side, and we're going to say this is pending at this point. Price, we'll just make one up. Got my GCI, my closing date, and all of this. Now, one thing that I can do though, now Joe, this is what we're trying to figure out here. So do I have to enter all of that if I just click yes to sync, if I already got the deal set up in transaction rooms?
Great question. So if you have the deal set up in transaction rooms, you're going to still want to put this information in here because the booj is taking the deal data and it's uploading it into DocuSign or .loop for you, or ZipLogics as well. So you want to have that information here because then booj is going to take that data, put it into your transaction management system for you. There's talk about data from the transaction management system, then also uploading to booj. For launch, we stayed with a one-way sync. So again, your booj data will upload your DocuSign, but in the future, we're looking at how we can have that sync both ways.
Okay, great. So that's good to know. So it's a one-way sync at this time. So we need to enter a contact here, George Clooney, an additional participant. We'll say his best friend, Brad Pitt. There we go. They're buying property together. Okay. So then when I click yes here, it's going to do exactly what Joe was just describing. It's going to give me the opportunity to push this information and sync up with Transaction Room. So, and it does explain the process right here. If you close the Transaction Room in DocuSign, the deal is going to be closed in the CRM. So every 5 minutes, this is good to know. Do you know, Joe, if that sync is 5 minutes for every platform, or does .loop and ZipLogics have its own timeline?
You know, I don't know for sure. I'll have to confirm that for you. I believe everyone is the same time frame, but I'll double check on that for you.
Okay, thanks. All right, I'm going to hit next. And now it's going to give me the option to add the deal. And hopefully it works here.
Hey, Michelle, we actually got a really good question. Can agents have more than one integration set up? For example, if they use DocuSign and ZipLogics, can they integrate with both?
That's a Joe question.
They can do both, but I haven't done that myself yet. So I'm going to see if we have a video or something out there. I don't think we do yet. I know we have like a DocuSign video, we have a .loop video, but I have to see if we have any other info on that.
Okay, good to know. I'm getting some kind of a backup here. It's not letting me add it. I will just turn this off for now so we can keep moving. What can happen live? That's exactly what's going on here. All right, so hopefully that was helpful to everyone to just kind of walk through that. It was definitely helpful to me as well. So before we mentioned, we were talking about when it comes to contacts and leads, and we're getting a lot of questions around importing CSV files from other platforms. And do I have to use the import sample template or not? So that's a really good question. So let's take a look at that. And I'm just going to import just a CSV that I happen to download to my desktop so that you can see what's going on. So we're going to import the list, and I'm going to select a file from my desktop, and we're going to find that here pretty soon. There it is. So I went to a golf outing and I met some people. So I want to upload them right into my booj account. Now it's just a CSV file, and I don't have anything else but just basic names and emails and everything else. So we're going to hit next. And this is what it's going to do. It's going to ask us to choose these fields. So one of the things is showing all it has is last name and email. So it's pretty simple. Now some of you have much more complicated systems that you're exporting from, such as Top Producer and everything else. So what are some best practices on this, Joe, about is it necessary to omit the first row from import?
Yeah, two quick things, Michelle. One, on that deal integration question, it is one transaction management room per account. If you wanted to then sync up .loop, you would have to then just disconnect from DocuSign to add .loop. So I did want to clarify that before we move forward. As far as the omit from first row, that's really handy because a lot of times, and a lot of you probably dealt with this before, when you import CSV files, it will sometimes take dirty data and put it in that first column. What I mean by that, it will sometimes take the column letter like A, B, C, D, or E and try to upload that. You don't need that information. So if that ever happens, you can omit that first row so it doesn't bring in data that isn't applicable to what you're trying to do.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. And by the way, when it comes to this, we get a lot of questions on this. Do we import them as contacts or leads? So you have a choice here. A lot of you have asked this. You say, why does it always go in as contacts? But you can actually choose to have them go in as leads. So then, because a lot of you still consider them leads until you're really, truly working with them or actually have them in the middle of a transaction and convert them to contacts. So just want to let everyone know that since we hear a lot about that. So as far as tags go, well, I happen to know this is a golf outing, but I could type in my own tag, even though I didn't have it on the actual CSV file that I just pulled from. So I'm going to go ahead and click import. And this is going to ask me if I want to confirm what it is that I'm doing. Sounds so harsh. This action cannot be undone. But yeah, so we're going to do it. We're going to hit OK. So your import has been initiated, and we're going to click done. And this is where in setting up your notifications, you can be notified that it actually took place like it does on a lot of the other platforms. So you will notice that I just imported all those new people, and I know because Mike Mortgage and Tom Title were on my golf outing list, and Ed Sheeran and Happy Gilmore, he's on my list too. But this actually imported my people, so which was really good. Actually, I don't see that all of them took place here. I had a few of them on there. Is that normal? Let me go to here, 25 results, 50. Okay, there we go. I got more people on here now. There's my Happy Gilmore. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so you see how that was? And so the truth is you don't have to use the provided sample template. It does certainly help, but but it has to be a CSV file. That much we know. And the system's very intuitive. It will help you by bringing those contacts in. So are there any questions that we should read aloud on that, Erica or Joe?
Actually, most of the questions that we're getting are further ahead than where we currently are showing on the CRM right now. So I don't think we have anything relevant to this information just yet, to what you're presenting.
Okay, sounds really good. Then we'll just keep moving through. So just wanted to really quickly show you that. We do get a lot of questions. So by the way, I know everyone's excited about the campaigns. We do get a lot of questions about like what's already in the campaign section. Just know you can find those in templates, and you can do single sends right now. And this is showing that this is 5 results per page, but we're going to, you can actually change this. You can see all the options. So you're going to have the ability to go in here and use all of these templates individually, or you can do what are called recipient lists. So I know we did show this on a couple of the webinars last week, but the recipient list is where you can create a list of 10, 15, 20, maybe even more from your contact list that is just a very specific group. Maybe it's my golf outing people, and I can go ahead and create that list. I will just say golf outing. And we're going to go create list. And we were having trouble with this last week, Joe, but it would only let me add 1 person at a time for some reason. So I'm going to see if it will let me. You're nodding.
Michelle, they're actually rehauling. As far as the functionality goes, it's the same for recipient list. So this is where you would go to add them. But booj is rehauling that feature because we had some feedback as far as how it can work a little bit better. So I know that's something they're looking at doing this week. So recipient list, if you have any issues with it, that should be very, very short term.
Okay, that's good to know. So when it is working, you're going to be able to set up a list. And right now, I think it was only letting me add 1 person. Let's put in, and when you hit search, it's really cool because it does drop the name in the bottom. So without you having to do a whole lot of work. Let's see if it'll let me add 1 more. And let's go to, it was only letting 1 last week. Hey, it's working. I'm so excited. All right, so yeah, so you just keep typing in the person's name and just hit search, and it quickly enters that name for you. So we're just gonna hit save and exit. We just got a couple people on here. And now this becomes its own recipient list, and I can do targeted messaging. I can send a certain template to them, and we're good to go. So how are we looking with the newsletter? Is that gonna come out around the same times as the campaigns?
Yeah, so newsletters, drip campaigns, important date campaigns. We're getting emails almost weekly on those are really close to going live. So I would say over the next few weeks, we should definitely be having some more info about that.
Okay, that's great. That's good to know. And then what's going to be really cool that you'll like once the campaigns are live is these analytics, which we've never had and we've been asking for a long time. So you're going to have the ability to see the open rates, the unsubscribes, bounces, and everything that you would expect to see when you're doing this type of marketing. And that'll work out really, really good. Are there any, we get a lot of questions about adding video to these campaigns and BombBomb integration. Any insight into that, Joe or Cameron?
BombBomb integration is coming. It's, I believe it's slated for tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Will that consist of the ability to send video messages or just contacts?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not clear on that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's going to allow you to start doing video, but let me get you some more details on that just because it is a feature that's just launching, so we haven't had too much on it, but I will confirm that here just for you in a moment.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. And so we know that the contacts will be able to be synchronized between the 2 platforms, or putting the BombBomb contacts into booj will be a lot more seamless than just manual export import. So that much we know. The video piece of it, we just have to verify for sure. So, all right, I'm going to show you a couple more things. I want to get into the websites because I know there's a lot of questions there, and then we'll just allow some extra time for questions. Like I said, we just want you to get, we hope you're excited. We're excited. We just want you to get a really good feel for what the possibilities are now that we're past the initial setup. So let's go into the website and let's talk about some of the things that are happening and some of the key features that you can do. And we're going to start with the mobile app branding. So in this regard, what's going to happen is there's a video that we just created, which we will get out to all of you. We'll include in the follow-up email on how to set up your personally branded mobile app. Now, in order to get this to work, by the way, this is a new feature here, but let me go ahead and unpublish if it'll let me. So notice what happens when your website's published. You're going to have the ability to just copy and paste your unique link that you can send to anyone. Or when you're not published, you're going to have to do it a certain way. So what you do is what you want to do is text it to yourself first, because you can share this particular application from the app itself with anyone via text or what have you. So you can put in your number here and it's going to text. Now, in order to get this to work, by the way, you have to delete the Remax search app off of your phone right now. So if you already have it on there, delete, whether it's the new version or not, just delete it altogether. When you text it, that's what's going to happen. It'll actually give you verification that it's been sent, as you can see. All right, so I'm going to do something here. Hopefully, I'm going to try to mirror my phone. Joe, any insight or best practices on the mobile app, or things that you could lend advice to, I guess is probably the best word?
Yeah, great question. And Erica is really fast with answering these questions. I'm trying to respond to a few of them here. So, yeah, so what we've noticed, the best success with this is, one, like you said, Michelle, texting the branded app link to yourself. Because then it's sent right to your smartphone. You can then share it to your contacts and sphere of influence through text messaging, email. You can upload it as a social media post, however you want. So I would say that definitely is the best way to do it. Text that link to yourself and then share it. The other thing that's going to be coming in the future is from the Remax consumer app itself. Agents will also be able to share the direct link out from the consumer app also. So if, as an agent, you have the app on your phone, you'll be able to log into that and send it from the app as well. So there's going to be a lot of different ways, but don't also forget about your printed materials, your email signature, your business cards, your open house flyers. These are all ways you can share that branded link.
Excellent, thank you. Can everyone see, Joe, can you see my mobile phone on the screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good, thank you. I just want to verify. So as you can see, when you text this to yourself, and quite frankly to others, a link is sent to them. And what I'm going to do right now, though, it's going to be different, though, when you share it, because it's going to give them instructions on what they're going to be doing with it, and that it's from you and you're with Remax, so it's legitimate. On iPhone, for some reason, it prompts you to go through a couple of screens here, so I'm just going to hit OK. So what it's going to do is it's going to now prompt me to, in this case, re-download, because I had it before, but I'm going to go ahead and download it again. And what's going to happen is it's going to, as soon as it opens up, you're going to see it's going to have your information as an agent. So it's obviously a test account, so I don't have a picture there, but it's going to have your picture. It's going to be front and center. Hopefully that's working for you right now. Like I said, you have to make sure the Remax app is completely removed off your mobile device before you can do this. And now all I have to do is I can just go start my home search, agree to the terms, and get into the map view. Now, how do I share this? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the top left corner. I'm going to hit menu, and notice the information in the middle here that says test agent. That's going to be your info. You're going to hit the I, the blue I, which is info. And now here at the top where it says share in the top right corner, as soon as I click share, it's going to give me the option to text it to someone. The best part is it provides an instructional message with it. Begin your home search by downloading, it'll be your name, not test agent, branded Remax app. So I can send this to whoever I want. I'm going to send this to Stacy Gillen because I know she's on here. There we go. So when you send that to someone, it's exactly the same thing. When they open it, it's going to prompt them to download the Remax app, and then they're going to have your information on there. So it's actually pretty easy. The key is just getting it onto your phone and being able to share it. And like Joe said, that's great that inside of the Remax search app itself, you'll have the ability to share. Now, one of the things we want to make very clear, we did mention this on the other webinars, if someone's using your mobile branded app, it does not automatically make you the PBA. So if they go on to remax.com, they can actually, on the desktop or they can actually choose a PBA. But using your mobile app will basically give you that assigned right. It just doesn't give you that PBA. So.
Hey, Michelle.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if this is exactly the same thing, but one of the updates that we received is when a client or consumer goes to the mobile app and they select an agent by searching their name, clicking on Work With Me, that is going to make that agent their preferred buyer's agent, their PBA. That's something that switched. I'm not sure if that's the same thing we're talking about here, but just wanted to clarify that. We had a lot of feedback that needed to be that way, and booj did change that.
Okay, could you repeat that again for everyone so that they heard?
So from the mobile app, when a client or customer searches for an agent, they type in their name.
Right.
Once they get to the agent page, it's going to have a Work With Me button. So if you click on, so right there, it would say Work With Me, not Remove Agent. When a client or consumer would click on that Work With Me button, it's then going to not only brand the app to the agent, but it's also going to make that agent their preferred buyer's agent. So all lead activity, save searches, favorite listings will all go to the agent that they selected from that page.
So they would have to search for the agent on the app, just like on desktop. So
yeah, they would still search for the agent by city, zip, or name, and then once they click that button, it will brand the app, but also make them the PBA as well.
Correct.
Okay.
So just to make sure that we're very clear with our agents that are on this webinar right now, by them simply downloading your branded link, that does not make you the PBA. The consumer still has to search for you as the agent and select Work With Me. Correct, Joe?
So anytime the app is branded to the agent, it is going to make them the PBA now. So even when they download that branded link and they go in and create an account, it's gonna I have to double check if it automatically puts the agent's name in there or they have to click on it. But anytime a consumer brands the app to an agent, it's going to make them that preferred buyer's agent.
That's good to know, and changes daily and hourly.
Last time you guys came out, yeah.
Yeah, when we were out there, that was not the case. So Stacy's texting me. So thank you, Joe. You just made my day. Any other questions around that, Erica?
No, I don't think so. I do want to do some testing on that just to make sure we're all using the same language and understanding the process working the same.
Okay.
And then I can follow back around with Michelle and Joe later.
Okay, good. Thank you. See, this is why we have you on here, Joe. It's all new to us. We appreciate that. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take my phone off of the screen and just wanted to give you that opportunity to see that. So again, to find this, you're going to go to the website and you need to go to your dashboard, because I know a lot of you are probably wondering, how did I get here? So website and dashboard. And again, when you publish your website, it'll give you the opportunity to copy the link, but if not, you're going to go ahead and have to send it to yourself or to others by texting, which is really easy to do actually. So we're going to leave that alone there. The next thing is there's a couple of things that we just want to give you some quick design tips on getting ready to go live with the sites. So tomorrow, as Cameron mentioned earlier, you're going to have the ability to publish towards the late afternoon, end of the day. And it's important that you understand what's going to need to happen. You do have to publish first, and then you'll have the ability, then you can go in and add a custom domain. But what you're going to have to do is change some of the settings inside of your GoDaddy account. And in order to do this, it gives you the instructions. If you do not want to do this, then you should reach out to our support team. They will need your GoDaddy login. We also caution you, if you have email attached to your GoDaddy domain, that you must be careful because you could lose access to your emails if you do this wrong. So it's best to always reach out for support. Joe, any tips on that?
No, that's pretty much the best you can do there. Like you said, just contact your support and have them. You're gonna have to edit that A type and C name. But again, if you're like, hey, what's an A type? What's a C name? It's best to probably just contact your support.
Best advice of the morning or the day. Yep, that's what they're there for. They can help you with that. So Erica and her team can certainly do that. So yeah, so that's one thing. And then another thing is, a lot of you have been, you've been ready for more. You want more, get more advanced. I want to make my website look really cool, and what else can I do with it? But before you do any of that, one of the key things you should be doing is optimizing your pages with respect to search engine optimization. So what you need to do is you can actually you can do this a couple different ways. So you have to go to the pages that are actually active. By clicking on pages, you can see what's out there. And this is going to pull up everything that's been published and what's available to be seen. But you can go into any page. In fact, you should go into all of them, including the home page, which I'll show you how to get to. So if I click where it says edit on this page that I created about Milwaukee, you want to go to where it says page details. So the page details, you'll see I have some items inside of here. So when you do a search of anything on Google, you get the results, right? And it looks like bluish purple headlines all the way down the page, and you're looking to find something of interest. So there are some tips and best practices around you can actually control what that blue link says. It's called a meta title. There's also the meta description. So the meta title is the bluish purple headline, and then the meta description is the paragraph underneath it. So Google tends to favor what's called on-page SEO. So if you are setting up your meta tag and your descriptions to match what's on the page, then Google's happy about that. So you can't use a meta title that has nothing to do with you, like, hey, I'm going to put Indianapolis 500 in my meta description, even though it's a real estate search page. You're not supposed to do things like that. So what are some best practices around that? So the title of the page is what it is. I accidentally cleared that out. So about Milwaukee, and this is what consumers see. Behind the scenes, though, we want to go to the SEO parameters. It is a best practice to be no more than 55 characters on the meta title. The meta tag should be no more, or the description should be no more than 155 characters. So I'm going to show you a little bit how that can work. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to write something up. So I'm going to pull up a document here where I've already done this. So the title, or the meta title that I came up with, what you have to do is remember you're competing with everybody else on that list. And let's face it, Zillow, Realtor.com, and everybody else is going to show up when someone types in homes for sale Milwaukee. So you can have an eye-catching headline here. First of all, RE/MAX, by the way, is always spelled in all caps, and it does stand out on the page when you look down the page and you see RE/MAX in all caps. So this could be your meta title for that page. The reason I know this will work is, first of all, I'm using a Word document, and I highlight this, and down here on the bottom, I'm going to click here where it says characters with spaces 56. So I'm actually over by 1. The recommendation is 55 characters. The reason there's a recommendation is because you'll notice on some results, you'll see headlines cut off with the 3 ellipses, the 3 dots. So in this case, it would just be 1 character. But you can actually use a Word document to count your characters. You should also use Word because there's no spell check inside of the booj fields in all instances where you're trying to edit the information. So I would copy and paste this. This would be my meta title. And now I'm going to go into the meta description. For some of you, I know this is probably like, whoa, this is advanced. But this is really the key. Like, rather than overcomplicate and over-design your website and spend hours and hours on it, the key is getting found. And the key is to promote it. And I'm sure Joe can give great advice on that as well. But here's the meta description. And again, I'm looking here by counting the characters. It's 145. And Google recommends 155 or less. So I'm going to paste this in here. Joe, what else would you like to add about this?
No, I mean, that is really the biggest thing, is that the title, and then having that meta description tag, you know, short, sweet, to the point. It's all about what content or what value you're providing with this specific page. So you want to keep it very short and sweet, like you did.
Okay, sounds good. And this is being recorded, by the way, everyone, so you can watch it back. I know you're going to need to go back and pause it, but I'm going to save the page details now. Oh, I have to put a description in here. Milwaukee is fun. All right, save. So now what this is going to do, now again, the consumers don't see this. This is just for you. This is just for your account. See what happens? It won't let me enter any. I got rid of some things, so it won't let me move on. Okay, there we go. Now hopefully it'll let me. Oh, it did save. Okay, I'm good. So I'm going to go back to my block list, and there we go. So I recommend starting with your home page. So we're going to exit out of here. So the exact same thing we just did, we want to go and optimize our home page, because first and foremost, that's where it all starts. You go to website and you go to dashboard. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to where it says edit agent search layout. because agent search layout is the layout I've chosen here. Then once again, you want to go to page details. And in this case, I've already done it in a former exercise, but this is where you want to optimize the home page. Start with that and then work your way through the rest of the pages. Okay. Questions? Okay, we're going to get out of here. One of the things that we run into a lot is some of you have, most of you haven't published yet. In fact, we hope that you haven't, so you've taken the time to work on it, but is the ability to see what your site actually looks like. If you go to the dashboard, the system assigns you a URL for preview mode for your site. However, it's going to require that you enter a username and password in order to get into this in preview mode. So this link right here, right to the left of it, there's a little I. So take note of that. This is going to give you the username and password you must use to preview your site. So you've got beta-user, beta tester 123 exclamation mark. So once again, it's located on your website dashboard, and there's a little I right next to this. So it says beta-user, beta tester 123. So to see what my site looks like, now I'm going to click this link. And what I'm going to do is it's now going to show me this. Now I did this recently, so it remembered my login apparently, but it may prompt you to enter a username and password. And that's where you're going to enter the beta-user and the beta tester a link that we had just shown. Okay. So leave this open because when you're working inside of your booj account, you can actually go back and forth and be able to see what's happening in there. So leave that open. Now watch what happens to this URL. When I hit publish, actually I already did hit publish. What happened? So when I hit publish, what it's doing here at the very top, notice this domain that it's assigned me. I was published already, sorry. It says testagent17.remax.com. My demo account username is testagent17@remax.net. So the system will actually assign you a domain name that you could technically use for good marketing purposes. So in my case, like mine is mhoyt@remax.net. So my website URL would be mhoyt.remax.com. So some of you may not have a custom domain. We do encourage you to get one. But if you wanted to use this as your domain, which some of the agents in Joe's regions are doing this, then you can essentially use it that way. On business cards, you can promote it that way. And mine would be mhoyt.remax.com. Visit my website. And like he said earlier, really put your website URL link along with the mobile branded app on all your marketing materials, your email signature, and everything else that's happening out there. It's a great way to really promote it. So anything else on that, Joe?
For everyone in the world. So, you know, this is a time that you probably have a little bit more of that extra time to work on your website. And like you said, branding the app and sharing that out to your network. So stay virtual. I did want to confirm, I let Erica know as well. So I'm sure you guys will create verbiage on this for future. But when a consumer does click on that branded link for the app, Michelle, it's going to ask them in that process, once they click on that link, do you also want to make this agent your PBA? Someone put in the Q&A, hey, if we're taking the time to share that information out, we should become the PBA. That's why that has changed, because we definitely agree with that.
That's great. And I must have changed recently because I tested all this last week, so I'm excited.
And if you have any issues with testing it, email me and we'll figure out why that's happening.
Okay, that could be very well. I just made a video on it. Thank you. All right, so a couple other things, and then we'll open it up for questions and we'll start wrapping up. So one of the things that you can do is, if you want to get a little more advanced or a little more creative with your website, is go to the navigation area. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to show you how you could potentially set up you set up the parent-child relationship, or say you want to put the county name, and then you want to put towns underneath it, which we did previously with Playster. You do need to create pages first. So if you want to set this up, see, I have like about Madison, about Milwaukee, about Brookfield. So you need to create those pages first in order to do what I'm about to show you. So you would go to the section where it says pages, and you would go ahead and click create new page and build it from scratch. However you want it to look, choose your design blocks. But what you can do once you get those created is you go to the navigation. Remember, navigation is always the blue menu, and that's what's active on your site now. So if you go to your site, it's this menu here. And any of these items here, this is the parent relationship, and underneath it is the child, meaning the items right underneath that main header. So if you want to do something more creative, like last week we showed you how to maybe set up a school district link to go directly out, but I went ahead and I set up a navigation item here. I'm actually going to get rid of it. So I'm going to remove that and show you what I did. So let's say that you want to create a menu item here, and this can be for anything. Maybe it's preferred partners, and then you have a page for your appraisers, then you have a page for your electricians, you have, you know, all of that. If you want to do something along those lines, we'll just say this is a county. We'll do Waukesha County. And by the way, it's a best practice to include the state after that, because there could be Waukesha counties anywhere else. So we are actually going to create this now. And then what I'm going to do is, remember, I created my pages for my different cities in this particular county. So it's down here. I'm going to now start moving these pages that I already created so that it looks like a nice setup, again, with a parent-child relationship. So I'm going to move this one by hovering over it, dragging it down here to the bottom. It'll let me. Hold on, I have to drop it in. I'll move it, my screen. So I'm going to keep moving it down. And then I'm going to drop it right here on Waukesha County. So I'm going to do the same thing with, we'll just pick another one, Madison. And obviously you can have as many as you want to. Drop it in here. By the way, this takes practice. The first couple of times I did it, they weren't working, meaning they weren't dropping in the right place. And then we'll just do one more. And we'll drop this one in here too. So there we go. So now that it's there, notice there's no save button. The minute you put something over here on the active navigation, it's live. It's there, it's happening. So I'm going to now go to my page right here, and I'm going to refresh. And then it should show my menu items. So I just refreshed, menu. And as I scroll down here, uh-oh, what happened? I think I need to refresh again. Hold on. Refresh one more time. Those cookie pop-ups are crazy. All right, hold on. Let me try this again. Did I miss a step here? I don't think so. All right, let's go back. Try this again. Okay, hopefully that will work now. Still not happening. I love when that happens. It worked yesterday.
I'll take that back too, because I know last week there was a known bug with menu items being added to that were not appearing. So I know it's been fixed. So let me follow up with the dev team to find out why that's still happening for you.
It did work yesterday, everyone. I just want to put that out there. So, well, they are here, but for some reason it's remembering something else. So that is how you do it. What questions do we have before we wrap up? And hopefully you're excited about tomorrow. Well, we're gonna show you some new stuff tomorrow, and get you ready for the big rollout.
Hey, Michelle. So Lindsay's asking questions about the mobile app. She just asked, how do I add the mobile app page to the website?
So Joe, have you seen some good things around that out there on websites?
Yeah, for sure. So agents, you have the ability to add the mobile app content block to any web page that you build. So if you're building a community page, you're building a vendor page, whatever it might be, you can add the content block, which will direct clients or consumers to download your branded app. So you would do that from the website drop-down menu. You would click on page editor, or you could even do that as well. Edit your home page, click on add block. I see where you're going, Michelle. And then we are looking for, if you type in on search block types, it typically will allow you to type it in. So type in mobile. There it is.
Okay.
And then you would add that block to your site, and then it should.
Save.
Looks like it's pulling a luxury. Hang on, now scroll down to the bottom if you could.
Oh.
Go to right above that one.
This one?
There, okay. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why it's putting in that luxury content block for you, but this is my mobile app. So this is where clients can then click on learn more. Then they can get that direct link sent to them from your actual website. So again, you can add that block to any of your web pages that you're building on your website.
And it's a menu item here as well. So, so if they go here, look at that. The best of my website in your pocket. So the consumer can actually text it to themselves. I love it. Thanks. What else do we have in questions?
Another one that we've gotten a couple of is, can you show again where to go to get the domain information to update their custom domains to point to their new websites?
Absolutely. So we will go to, let me exit out of here. So you can actually get to that. So first of all, you want to go to website and you want to go to domain manager, and then you click where it says add domain. And this is going to give you the instructions here. So you would actually put in your domain name like isellhomes.com or whatever it is. And then as Joe and I mentioned earlier, you do have to go into the back end of the settings of your particular domain. You have to go to domain manager and GoDaddy, and you have to change where the name servers point. And it might be something you've never done before, and that's where we would encourage you to reach out to our support team to help you. Like I said, they'll need your GoDaddy login credentials, and they're happy to do it for you. They've done it many times, but that is something that you should definitely do.
All right, and then Joe, you may be able to speak more to this. My mobile app originates in the Denver area. How do you change this?
Can you cut out a little bit, Erica?
My mobile app originates in the Denver area. How do you change this?
So is that saying that when you open up the mobile app and you're looking at the map view, it's
Map view.
it's coming up with Denver?
That's happened before. I've seen that.
I would first check in your actual phone settings, whether you have an iPhone or an Android. A lot of times there are location settings, GPS settings that you can turn on or off. I would check that first to see that is turned on to make sure the app knows to use your GPS. If that is the case and you've tried deleting the app, re-downloading it, that seems like it's a bug. So I would definitely report that to your product team. But I can also take that back as well since I'm on the call and let them know that we haven't that happen.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the questions.
I want to answer on that we've gotten a couple of questions about so far is, if they forwarded their domain after the transition from Placer to their remax.com profiles, will that eventually come over? The answer to that is no. Those URLs changed when the new remax.com was launched. So you do need to update that information within your registrar. And again, please reach out to our support team if you need any help doing that. We are more than happy to do that for you.
Yep. Yeah, the spa pages are gone. So I want to make sure you're not pointing there anymore. Anything else? This is great, everyone. Thanks so much for your participation today.
Can I point multiple domain names to my website?
You can only assign one, right, Joe? And then they'd have to redirect the others?
That's correct.
Okay. How many do you have? No, I know that's very common.
I've heard that if we've already accidentally hit the publish button, tomorrow we'll have problems straightening things back out. Is there any way to unpublish before it's too late?
So right here, you have the ability to do that. So you should see this red button right here. If you click unpublish, then it puts it right back to preview mode. I know there's been a known issue where some agents have once they publish, then it's grayed out and they can't choose it. Please report that to support because it is a known issue that's been happening out there. Next.
Can I hire someone to set up my website for me? Have preferred vendors to customize those websites.
So Joe, can you give us any insight, like down the road, are any of the booj ninjas going to make themselves available, obviously for a cost, to assist with those sort of things, those services?
It's something that we've heard a lot about. I probably have been offered multiple jobs when I'm training on the road to come back and build websites for agents in the offices. So it's something that has been talked about a lot. I definitely think our team in headquarters sees a value in not just here's a training video, but here's some time together. I don't know if that would be on a broker level where the broker would have something set up with one of us to do that, but it's something that we've been talking about. I don't want to make any promises though, because there's a lot obviously going on with a lot of other stuff. So, but it's something that we are looking into.
Okay, good. And everyone, I know we're a few minutes over the hour, so thanks for hanging with us. We'll keep answering questions.
Yep, we've gotten several more really good questions in. I would prefer to have my social media links on my page versus the LLC social feeds. Is that possible?
That's coming, right, Joe?
Could you repeat that one last time?
They want to add their own social media stream rather than LLC.
So right now, that content block for the website for social media, it is defaulting to Remax social media platforms. But in the very near future, you'll be able to edit those content blocks and tie in your own Instagram, your own Facebook, things like that. So you would find the social media. There it is right there. Yep. So anything that says coming soon, we're working on providing the ability to edit. You will have the ability to edit that in the future. But right now, it is going to default to Remax social media platforms.
Yep. So right here, when it says follow me, these actually link directly back to Remax LLC. Okay, great. This is good.
Do we want to remove Launchpad from our mobile phones?
So in the future, everyone, just so you understand, notice that you can't get into booj from Launchpad. Everything lives in Max Center now, so including Launchpad. So that's entirely up to you because it's not an app. Remember, we set up a mobile shortcut. So a lot of us did that in training. So there was never an app for Launchpad. So feel free to leave it there. It's a shortcut. But moving forward, it'll just be a single sign-on from Max Center to get into Launchpad. So we're in the process of merging all of our data and all of our content from Launchpad into its own place in Max Center. So you stay tuned for that. We'll keep you updated as we go.
Dave Goebel, he asks, can we add partners like lenders, title companies, etc. to our websites?
Of course. In fact, I used that as an example before. And Joe, I'm sure you've seen this a lot. So what you want to do is, you basically create a page. And as I mentioned earlier, you can even set up a menu of items where you have preferred partners and underneath it are your different versions of those. But you do need to go ahead and set up a page. And unless there's some other shortcuts I'm missing, you don't want to link directly to external sites if you can avoid it. But you just need to go in and create pages for each one. And as all of you know, you can't just put one, you need to put at least 2 or 3. In most of your MLSs, you have to be careful not to steer people towards one or the other. So, but that's the best way to go about it. So Dave, I know you're going to call me and ask me to do it for you. So I'll help you, I promise. So I'll give you some tips and send you some steps on how to do that.
And then the last one we've gotten so far is, can we have our Placer site live and running at the same time before we add the custom domain to our booj website?
So for those of you that continue to hold on to your Placer site and paid the extra to extend it, then you're going to need to remove it. Like you're basically, when you go into your GoDaddy domain in the back end, you're going to change where the name servers point. So the minute you change it over to the booj website, it's going to completely remove itself off of the Placer site, and then you can cancel that. So you have the ability in those Placer sites to download your content in TXT files, as they're called. And if you want to copy and paste some of that into these new pages here. But again, it all has to do with the back end and pointing the name servers whether it's to the new place. Anything else?
We're getting some questions about the impersonation access, whether or not admins and brokers will have impersonation and Launchpad. So the answer to that is unfortunately no. There will be a form of impersonation access in booj for broker owners, but that has not been completely built just yet. I believe that's coming soon, right, Joe?
Yes, that is correct. It is coming soon.
Okay, but as far as Max Center to be able to edit and update agent profiles and whatnot, that will not be something that is available. And that's due to the way that permissioning is done at Remax LLC. So that isn't something that even our support team is able to have either, unfortunately. But as far as being able to access booj for your agents, you will be able to have that in the near future. However, agents will be able to turn off that impersonation access. So if the agent does not want you to be able to access their booj account, they can turn that off, but by default, it will be on, correct, Joe?
That is correct. Yeah, agents will have the ability to turn it off, but because certain MLSs do require brokers to have certain data or access to certain data, that's why it's defaulted to on. But any agent, if they don't want that on, they'll have the ability to turn that off once that goes live.
And then Joe and Erica, both the team leaders, will they also have that ability to impersonate or at some level, or the same as broker owners?
Yeah, so team leaders will be able to impersonate as well. The team leader, team manager, if there is a team admin as well, if they'll have that ability as well. But right now, like I said, that's not live, but it is going to be coming soon.
Okay, thank you.
All
Great
right.
questions.
One last great question that I think we should hit real quick is, what plan, if any, is there for booj team offerings? Our team truly works as a team, and having separate booj accounts will not work for us.
So we are going to have a Teams webinar on Thursday, but Joe, I'll let you speak more to that since you've got teams already using booj to the fullest right now.
Yeah, the great thing is there will be a team leader permission for whoever is that team leader. Sometimes we know their spouses, husband, wife, partners kind of thing. However, team members will also have their own individual team member CRMs as well. So they can log in, they'll be able to see their own team member info. They won't have the ability to go in on a team leader level and edit information or impersonate other team members, but each team member will have their own login when they log into the platform.
And Joe's going to be on our team webinar this week too. So we're going to.
Got me all week, Michelle.
Yeah, we got you all week. Thank you. We'll lean into you.
All right, from the question aspect, I think that we're in a really good spot.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much again, everyone. Thank you, Joe, Maureen, Erica, Cameron, for being with us, and all of you. And you're all doing an amazing job. Great job to all of you for adapting to this virtual training that we've been doing so much of, and more than we ever did before. And we appreciate it. So for those of you that are joining us tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central and 10 a.m. Eastern. Thanks, everyone. Bye.